Not even the goats want to go outside today.
So it's a wet, rainy day here at Boneset Ranch, which means no outdoor projects. That deck will just have to wait a little bit longer. It's President's Day, got the day off, and still want to do projects. And I came across something on the internet the other night, fun new project for the tractor, something that I've been looking forward to doing for quite some time. My idea has usually been centered around a trailer for hauling my stuff around the property, but then I came across a couple different ways to build a carry-all for the back on the 3-hitch point on the tractor, and it looked like a much neater solution than trying to use the trailer for a couple of reasons. One, I won't have to maneuver myself on the back roads down the hill using, trying to keep the trailer from flipping, and I can set it and leave it and go grab other implements, same as I would with a trailer. The only thing I won't be able to do is use the UTV to move it around. For today, I bought the basic frame and I'm going to create the starting box for this new carry-all system, and then I'll hopefully be expanding from there. So this model is a Country Line, which is a brand that is carried by Tractor Supply. And there are others. Another video I saw that used a Titan brand that is sold at other feed stores. I picked this up mostly for the convenience of the online ordering and curbside pickup from Tractor Supply. So I'm putting this together with what looks like deck screws, but unlike deck screws, which have they're more of a pot metal, these are more of a pure steel, and they're made to be structural as opposed to the deck screws, which are only there to hold it down. And since this will be on the back of a tractor, bumping into God knows what all over the property, I want it to stay together. I am using old wood, but that's because I want to not worry about, what I'm bumping into. All right. Now I'm ready to test fit it on there. There we go. I wouldn't even really need to use all of the 5 bolts that are along there, and I may not, just in case I change my mind about the configuration a little. So I watched a lot of people assemble this by doing one board at a time in sequence, using each of the bolt holes, and rather than building the whole deck at once. And I gotta say, I'm partial to this build the whole deck at once. I'm not trying to match up exact boards so that I end up with a perfect deck. I could have made it just a little bit long or a little bit short, and it would still work out great. So now I'll have to flip it on its back and put some bolts in it. Okay, I wanted to take a moment and talk about something that really frustrated me once in Lowe's. I was looking for a very specific piece of hardware. It's here. It is this thing. Everybody knows the nut. Everybody's had the carriage washer and a standard washer. But carriage washers work best, especially in wood, with this, which is, after a quick search right now, is called a torque washer. And as you can see, the torque washer both has a squared hole in the middle to catch the bottom of the carriage washer, because you have no ability to really tighten down on the carriage washer with a wrench on it. And this torque washer instead uses these teeth right here to bite into the wood and to keep the head from turning while you tighten up the carriage bolt from the bottom. However, in Lowe's a few months back, I was looking for these things. I probably looked up and down the hardware aisle for at least a half an hour trying to find these stupid washers, and finally decided Lowe's wasn't carrying them. And then a helpful person came along. He wanted to try to help find it for me, so we spent another half an hour while he went through the same process I just did of looking everywhere and deciding also that, you know, the hard part for him was he didn't fully understand what it was I was looking for. I just looked it up on Home Depot. You can get these at Home Depot, and the most important thing to know is that it's called a torque washer. Get the name torque washer, you can put it in your search, you can find it real quick, go find the bin and aisle it's in. But, you know, not knowing what the heck the name of it is and trying to find it, you just confound yourself. So one of the things I learned from watching the videos of the people who built these was that they built the back solid, and in the next shot when they show them hooking it up to the tractor, holes have appeared here where the lower two supports on the tractor 3-point hitch couldn't come through and have enough play to connect to these connection rods here. So I am going to lay it out so that the boards stop here at the full 4-foot length, do 1 or 2 that are shorter in this area, and then go back to the full 4-foot length. And when I put a cross member down here for connecting them, I'll put a filler block here, and that way I don't have to cut it out after the fact and try to figure it out. Okay, I got plenty of room there to maneuver those things on, off. What do you think, huh?
Two things you might notice in this sequence. One is that I'm not using the special washers here, and that's because I ran out. But there's also another reason for not using the washers. My bolts were a little short, and even if I had the washers in place, it would have been just enough to keep me from being able to stick the threads through far enough to get the nut on there. I'm going to have to break down and restock some of the bolts for my shop.
So there you have it. What was that? 3 o'clock now. I probably got started at 11. I did a lot of searching for the right size bolts, but 4 hours to have a basic thing. I'm going to add a couple eye bolts so that I can stick something like our trash cans on here and put a strap around, have something to grab onto. Eventually I'll build the sides that go here and here and then make my box. But right now I could put my saw on here, I could put my tools on here and carry them back and forth.
This is a demonstration of how things worked in the past. I would have a long, awkward thing like this railing, and trying to fit it into the bucket or on the bucket and carry more than one of something like this and being able to strap it down, it's just frustrating. Now I can load things in record time with record ease. Both of my kids go off to school in the fall. This is my plan to take over a chore that I've happily given them for the past decade or more. And there you have it. If you don't have something like this for your tractor, I highly recommend that you get it. I wish I had gotten one much sooner.